There's Paul Feig.
Hey.
Hi, Paul. Jeff in Vegas.
Hey, Jeff, how you doing? One second, I need to raise this up in there.
Go right ahead. Paul Feig is directing.
Exactly. This angle right there.
You look great, as always.
Oh, thank you. You do too. I love your shirt. Nice.
Thank you. Oh, I'm Vegas born and raised. I got cocktail shirts, and we'll get to that. You know, all kinds of cool stuff. Got Vegas in the backdrop, and we're reopening on June 4th here in Las Vegas. So I'm really excited about that.
That's really exciting.
And, you know, you're such a great dresser. You know, I was just thinking today what you were going to look like and how you're going to be dressed, you know, not sweatpants, you know, not unshaven. You look like $1,000,000.
Well, thank you.
And where did that sense of fashion come from? When you were aware that fashion was going to begin for you, how to look?
Pretty early on. When I was a kid, I used to watch all these old movies with my mom. Like Cary Grant and Fred Astaire and all that, and William Powell. And I just loved the way those guys dressed in the 30s and 40s. And so that really made an impression on me when I was, like 7 or 8 years old. And so I actually got my first suit when I was about 8 years old, 3-piece suit. And then it just kind of kept going from there. I mean, I dressed this way I dressed in suits or at least in jackets and, nice clothes all through high school. And it was really just in my my mid-20s to mid-30s that I got a little more casual. But then after I did the show Freaks and Geeks, I just realized, well, man, I'm an adult now. Maybe I should go back to dressing like this. I think I look better. I don't look good in jeans. Is the problem.
Well, the thing is, this is my 25th year as a film critic. And when I first started out, I always dressed nice from the waist above. I did all the junkets, and I thought no one's going to see my jeans and my ratty old shoes. And then one day I wore some really nice shoes, and a big star said, "I really like your shoes." And it hit me. They see what I dress like versus the audience. So from that point on, I always dress nice when I did interviews. So
I respect that. No, I agree with you. I think it's the complete package because dressing is also about how it makes you feel. If it makes you feel more successful and better, then do it.
I'm proud of you. You've grown into this brave, resilient, independent woman.
It feels really right, which is terrifying, but worth it in the end.
Well, let's talk about Love Life. HBO Max is rolling out this week, and Love Life is front and center. And each season is a new main character searching for love, and Anna Kendrick's Darby. So isn't it a challenge to tell a love story in the age of the internet and Tinder? Because I'm Generation X, and we had a high school and a telephone when I was trying to date.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, what I love about this show is it shows what goes into the making of one person, both their love life, but also who they are as a complete person. And this shows as much about dealing with and kind of learning from your friends and your family as you are from the relationships you get in. But I also like the fact that it's a bit of a mystery sort of as who she's going to end up with in the end, because everybody we meet, and it's New York, you keep kind of meeting the same people over and over again. You don't know what's going to be the perfect relationship.
And it's hard to believe that someone like Anna Kendrick could be lonely, though. That's kind of suspension of disbelief, definitely.
There you go. I know, exactly. She is the great. I love her. This is my second time working with her because we did Simple Favor together, and I just I could not love her more.
And I've met you a couple times at different Critics' Choice Awards, and you've always been so great, been so gracious. And, Freaks and Geeks, 20th anniversary, I Am Sam. I'm class of 1984, and I'll never forget watching that series because I thought, you could have taken a camera and followed me around my high school years. I mean, from the music to the attitudes to the clicks, it's like you captured my high school years exactly, not exaggeration, but exactly like it was back in the 80s. And I just love that show to death.
Oh, thanks. So, I mean, yeah, you and I had very similar upbringings, I mean, we weren't the popular kids, but we weren't the outsiders either. We were just kind of on the fringes, really. And that's what I really wanted to do, because I felt like all the shows I'd seen, movies and shows about high school, were always about that center group. And I'm more interested in the outsiders.
And I'm such a fan that I saved my money and I bought the special yearbook edition DVD. And it's one of my favorite things. I even took it with me to Jason Segel when I did the Forgetting Sarah Marshall junket in Hawaii. And I pulled out that yearbook, and he couldn't believe I had it.
Oh, no. Oh, yeah. I'm very proud of that. That was a few years in the making. But, we're about, anytime I put something out, it's about go big or go home. So we really like to give you a lot of stuff.
And you've worked with Melissa McCarthy, and I think she's Lucy reincarnated. I absolutely do, because she can do every type of comedy, from physical to verbal to, and I've been watching a lot of the Lucy show on YouTube, you know, because I return to things that make me comfortable in this terrible pandemic. But I think I just adore her. She's just a genius.
She really is. I mean, you know, that's why we get along so well. We have a very similar sense of humor because we like things to be sort of big and broad, but grounded at the same time. We like extreme characters, but they have to have their own internal logic. And that's why she, you know, the core of it all, Melissa's a great actress, you know, and so it all comes from there, because then the comedy comes from a very real place.
And I'm an original Misty. I love Mystery Science Theater 3000. And you were on Sabrina the Teenage Witch for one season. I adore Frank Conniff. Do you have any stories about him? Or I just think he's just the funniest man in Hollywood.
He's just a wonderful, delightful guy. I'm the same way. I mean, I was an MST fanatic, and luckily became friends with Joel, you know, Joel Hodgson, and Trace, and then when I got to work with Frank, I couldn't believe it. He was sort of the last piece of the puzzle I hadn't met. Lovely, lovely guy. I mean, he's very soft spoken and very, very polite, but devastatingly funny.
And I'm such a fan. I went to Eden Prairie, Minnesota for the first and only convention they ever had back in the day.
Nice. Nicely done. Oh, that's so great.
And they got the VHS tape that sold as a souvenir months later, and I was in a flash in it. You see me holding a video camera. So I'm part of Mystery. I'm a part of MST forever.
I love it.
And also, I know I read a lot of your comments about Fred Willard, because I was about 10 years old when I started watching Fernwood Tonight, and I didn't understand it back then. I just was intrigued by the show, and that's where I met Kenneth Mars and Martin Mull. For my whole life, I had all his albums, and I just wanted any memories of Fred Willard, because it's just, the man was just the best.
Yeah, I mean, he was the loveliest guy. I got to direct him on an episode of Undeclared that we did. And it was such an honor because I was such a fan. I mean, yeah, Jerry from Fernwood Tonight, I used to tape that show on my cassette tape recorder and listen to it back. But then over the years, I became friends with him just because my wife was friends with his wife, and we had a lot of friends in common. So we would just be at a lot of parties together. And he was just the gentlest soul. I mean, I've never seen somebody more just even-keeled and just sweet. I mean, I never saw him not be sweet.
I can't believe you did that too. I took my dad's Bell and Howell recorder in 1977, and I would go into movie theaters like The World's Greatest Lover with Gene Wilder, and I would record the entire film, and then I would go home and just listen to it over and over. But I wouldn't, and they didn't care back then. I brought in this giant recorder, and I would tape movies to listen to.
I love that. I mean, that's something that people have kind of lost, is that audio thing that we had growing up, like comedy albums. That was such a big deal when I was growing up. Those the Steve Martin albums, or the George Carlin ones, and Lenny Bruce. Yeah, there's something about just the human voice without seeing the visuals. They have to deliver their thoughts in such a different way.
And you were in 3 O'Clock High. And I remember when I was in high school when that came out, that the big buzz was the director was the protege of Steven Spielberg. Whatever happened to Phil Jones? He did Rattle and Hum, and then what happened?
I mean, Phil's done a lot of commercials, and he's definitely out there working still. He and I went to film school together, which was crazy. And yeah, he was just this prodigy. I work a lot now with the DP that shot he had a famous short film he did in film school called Last Chance Dance that just completely blew us all away because we'd never seen anything like that. But that was also my friend John Schwartzman, who shot my last 2 movies, who was the DP on that, who went on to do Michael Bay's movies and all that. So, but Phil's out there, he's working away. It's this town, you just try to keep working.
And I went to film school at UNLV. I was the very first class when they offered a 4-year degree, and I fell into film criticism because I did a TV show at UNLV TV, and I just ended up being a film critic for 25 years on TV and radio. It's just, the way it happened.
It's great. I mean, it's great. I love my critical studies class. I started, Wayne State University in Detroit studying film, and then eventually went to USC. And I always loved critical studies because you got to see things, and I have not been a classically, or back then, a person who watched a ton of movies. I just watched the comedies that I like. So it was nice to get that expanded appreciation. And
you and your wife are watching classic film. And last night you watched Anti-Mame. I understand.
Exactly.
And I'm a big Turner Classic Movie fan. I've been to all 10 film festivals. And this year we had the one online. They had one at home. And I'm a huge classic film fan. So I don't know if you've seen this movie or not, because you said you wanted to watch comedies. Have you seen Bogart's only comedy he's ever done?
No, wait, what's it called?
It's called All Through the Night.
No.
Okay, you've
Don't
got to watch
it
this.
tonight, though.
Yeah, it's all through the night. And when you watch it, you're going to see some of the biggest stars in their first roles, little cameo roles. Phil Silvers, Jackie Gleason, William Demarest is his sidekick, but he's a gangster that's found a group of Nazis that are trying to take over New York City. But it's a comedy, and I'm dying to know what you think of it because it's so funny. Because when I discovered it, I thought, what is Humphrey Bogart doing in a comedy? And it's fantastic.
All through the night. Oh, I'm so all over that. Oh my gosh, thank you.
And let's talk about quarantine cocktail time. I don't drink. I'm sorry. I know. I don't drink. My family didn't do it. I mostly tune in to watch you dance and to see the ongoing drama between Lemony and Saucy.
Yes, it is. It is. I say I'm the new Soupy Sales somehow. I don't know how I fell into that. But no, it's really fun. We just have a great time doing it every day.
Okay, so I have a suggestion for Quarantine Cocktail Hour. Now, I'm not paid by this, but I'm a huge fan of The Rock, and he just came out with his own tequila.
Yes.
It's called Terramana. So I'm willing to try this, but you've got to make me a drink. And, and I like sweet stuff. So I don't know what kind of tequila drink you can find on a future episode as I tune in and watch it. Just make a drink with Terramana, and I'd love to try it.
You got it. Well, I'm very worried though that your first drink is going to be tequila because we never hear from you again.
If I do more than 1 or 2 shots, I'm gone. Like that.
There you go. Exactly. You sure you wouldn't rather have some Artingstall's gin? That's mine.
Oh, is that yours?
Heck with The Rock. Yeah, this is mine. I have my own gin. Yep.
No, absolutely. I'll go out and get some.
Go to artingstallsgin.com. You can find out where to get it.
I will do it. Yeah, because I've had gin and tonic before. It's very refreshing.
Yeah, no, it is really nice. No, I mean, I love cocktails because there's something fun about mixology. It's almost when I was a kid, I used to build models, and so this is just a grown-up way of building models. You got to drink them.
Absolutely. Well, Paul, thank you so much for talking to me. Good luck with the new HBO Max series, Love Life, and make sure you watch All Through the Night and come visit us in Las Vegas. We'd love to have you.
I can't wait. Vegas is one of my favorite places in the world. I miss it so much, and I will be there the minute I can.
Awesome. I'll see you tonight on Quarantine Cocktail. Say that fast 3 times.
Quarantine Cocktail Time. Exactly. 3 times fast. Well done. Thanks.